maybe I was 2.5 years in the movement when I asked Prabhupada. After one evening darshan, when there was no one around, I approached Prabhupada and with the desire of taking sannyas. And he said, wait. So I was waiting for 1 year. I didn't talk further. Then, this is in Bombay, I again found Prabhupada by himself one day, and I approached him, and this was in fact the time Sridhar Swami, who was my colleague in Bombay, he was recommended for sannyas. He was asked to go to Vrindavan by Prabhupada, so he was going to get sannyas. So that time I also approached Prabhupada. And when he heard that I wanted to take sannyas, and his first response was, "You are already sannyasi." And when he saw that I was not satisfied, he started preaching to me. The first verse of the 6th chapter in Bhagavad Gita, what is that? No niragnir no chakriyaha. The true yogi is, the whole Prabhupada talked about that verse. It's defining sannyas. But then I was not budging an inch. I was keeping some pressure on. And so towards the end he said, "So you want to undergo the formality of sannyas?" And I said, "Yes, Prabhupada." Then Prabhupada said, "Yes, so you go also with Sridhar and meet me there in Vrindavan." So this was December of 75. So we both jumped on the train, and Prabhupada had gone with Ambarish and Hansadutta and Gopal Krishna, other Harikesh Maharaj also, to Kurukshetra. Then he returned, and then courtyard of Krishna Balaram temple, we were given sannyas.
We were once at Srila Prabhupada's room, and I walked into the room, and I looked over in the corner, and I saw Prabhupada in a white sari. It was Prabhupada's sister. It looked like Prabhupada, so much like Prabhupada, I had to do a double take, and then Prabhupada walked into the room, and there was Prabhupada, and there was Prabhupada's sister, both sitting there in the room together. So they were talking back and forth in Bengali together, and it came time for Prabhupada to take his rest. And his sister is sitting on the floor, and she kind of rolls over, and she starts taking her rest in the room. And I said, "Prabhupada, is that all right?" And she said, "Yeah, she won't go away. She's staying here." So she just kind of moved in, and then she started cooking for Prabhupada. So Achyutananda was doing the cooking for Prabhupada, but Prabhupada wanted her to cook these kachoris, because Prabhupada liked kachoris, and she could cook them just the way he liked them. But we weren't used to eating these, kachoris. So the next day at Mangalarti, nobody showed up. We were just staying in a small rented house. It was a donated house. But we were having our morning program down below, and Prabhupada would come down. And the next morning, after his sister had cooked, nobody showed up for Mangalarti. So Prabhupada called us in afterwards and says, what's the matter? How come no one's here for Mangalarti? And we said, "Well, your sister cooked these kachoris for us yesterday, and we all ate so many that we couldn't get up in the morning." So then he called his sister in, and he started arguing with his sister in Bengali, back and forth. I couldn't understand. And she was talking, and he was yelling at her, and she was answering back. And then he said to Achyutananda, I says, "I'm going to drive this woman out of this house. She's killing all my brahmacharis with those kachoris." So Srila Prabhupada and his sister had, a relationship which was far above, our understanding. But That was just a humorous incident of her being there.
Even sometimes at breakfast, maybe having halava, which was unheard of on a normal basis. But if he was, like I remember in London, Bhaktivedanta Manor, where it was colder, we were there one time when it was cool, and he was requesting heavier foods. But normally, it was that his main meal was at lunch, and then sometimes in the evening, hot milk was very regular in the evening, and sometimes with a puffed rice when that was available. Especially in India, they had a nice puffed rice. Sometimes, again, I remember when I was with him early, like in 72 and 73, he would have me make parathas. He showed me how to make paratha, plain paratha, which then I would make it a few times. And he would eat parathas and potatoes in the evening. This could be 9, 10 o'clock in the evening. But that was if he felt that he had the appetite. Without appetite, Prabhupada never forced eating. I remember in Los Angeles, sometimes even he had some popcorn, which was Sankirtan, popcorn that was made in the evening. He had that a few times. He tried, but he liked puffed rice, which was light. And he said, if you eat heavy at night, then it is hard to get up in the morning. So he didn't like to eat heavy in the evening because it was difficult to digest.